Ya Ali Madad, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are talking about Eid al-Fitr. And before you think I already know what Eid is, I want you to pause just for one moment. Because what if everything you know about Eid is only half the story? What if the half you don't know yet is the most beautiful half? What if the real celebration, the one your soul has been waiting for, has been hidden inside the very word Eid this entire time, and nobody told you? That is what the Ismaili Esoteric Study Circle exists for, not to repeat what you already know, but to take you somewhere deeper, somewhere quieter, somewhere true. This episode is called The Esoteric Understanding of Eid al-Fitr, and I promise you, by the time we are done, Eid will never feel the same to you again. The way you say it, the way you feel it, the way you live it, all of it will carry a new depth that no one can ever take from you. If your soul brought you here today, trust it. It knew what it was doing. Subscribe to the Ismaili Esoteric Study Circle. Share this episode with someone you love, because some things are too beautiful to keep to yourself, and some awakenings are meant to be shared. Now, let us begin. Eid Mubarak, two words that billions of people will say to each other this season. Smiles, hugs, feasts, new clothes, family gatherings, all beautiful, all joyful. But here is a question I want to sit with you on today, and I promise by the end of this episode, Eid will never feel the same to you again. What if Eid is not just a day on the calendar? What if the real Eid has nothing to do with food and everything to do with your mind and your soul? Today we are going on a journey from the dictionary definition of a word all the way to the deepest spiritual wisdom of the Ismaili intellectual tradition. Buckle up. This is going to be a ride. Let's start at the very beginning, the word itself. In Arabic dictionaries, the word Eid literally means a day that recurs or returns. It is a recurring return, an occasion that comes back. That's the literal meaning. Now, exoterically, meaning on the surface level, the outer religious level, Eid al-Fitr is the festival of breaking the 30-day physical fast of Ramadan. It is about rejoicing, prayer, and generosity. And that is beautiful, truly beautiful. Fasting is hard, breaking it is joy. But here is where the Ismaili intellectual tradition invites us to go deeper. Because for us, a complete concept of rejoicing cannot be purely physical. We are not just bodies, we are also minds. We are also souls. And if the body rejoices when it breaks its fast, shouldn't the soul and the intellect rejoice too? What does their Eid look like? One of the great Ismaili Pirs, a poet, philosopher, and traveler of immense learning, is Pir Nasir Khusraw. And in his monumental work, the Wajh-i-Din, specifically in Discourse 23, he gives us something extraordinary. He says, just as the physical body gains strength from food after fasting, the intellect is liberated and gains immense strength when it receives inner wisdom. So fasting, in the spiritual sense, is not about giving up food. It is about a state of poverty of knowledge. The intellect is hungry. It is starving for wisdom. And the fast is broken, the true Eid begins, when the intellect is finally fed. And Pir Nasir Khusraw makes it even more beautiful and precise. The Eid of the breaker of the fast signifies the asas. Let that land. Eid is not just a date. At its deepest level, Eid is a personality. It is the one who provides the Tawil, the esoteric, inner meaning of the Qur'an, and thereby liberates the believer from ignorance. Now, you might ask, and this is a brilliant question, who exactly is the source of this spiritual food? Who is the asas? For that, I want to refer you back to our previous episode on Laylat al-Qadr, where we introduced the concepts of the 7 cycles and the role of the asas, and the concept of Dawr-e-Kash, the cycle of unveiling. Please listen to that episode for a fuller picture. And for your convenience, we have placed the link to that episode in the description below. Here's the short version. Maula Ali is the asas, the foundation of imamat, and in every prophetic cycle, alongside a natik, there is always an asas. A natik is a great prophet who brings a new divine law, or sharia. Here, we are speaking about a very particular cycle, the sixth cycle in which Prophet Muhammad was the natik and Maula Ali was his asas. Because the asas is the foundational imam, imamat continues through his progeny, and just as breaking the physical fast restores the body's strength, the tawil of the asas liberates the mu'min from the starvation of knowledge and grants them spiritual strength through his wisdom. Now, in today's time, we are told by Imam Sultan Muhammad, Shah, that the current time is the time of Qiyamat, the cycle of unveiling, the Dawr-e-Kash, a time of drastic change, physically and spiritually, a time when scientific knowledge and esoteric inner knowledge are more accessible than at any previous point in history. The esoteric interpretation is at its peak. But something even more profound has also occurred. All the ranks, including the ranks of asas and natik, have been dissolved into the imam of the time. He has become the compendium of all ranks. Every spiritual function, every source of divine wisdom is now concentrated in one living presence. Therefore, those who are true seekers will be liberated from the poverty of ignorance by the Imam-e-Zaman of the present time, Maula Shah Rahim. Recognizing the Imam-e-Zaman and drawing spiritual strength from him, that is the actual Eid for us. Dear brothers and sisters, this is not ancient history. This is now. The table of knowledge and wisdom is laid. The question is, are we seated? Here is something remarkable that many people don't know. The word Eid is mentioned explicitly only once in the entire Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 114, and it appears in a stunning context. In this verse, the disciples of Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, ask him to pray for a Ma'idah, a table, to be sent down from heaven, and Prophet Jesus prayed. The verse translates as, "O Allah, our Lord, send down to us from the heavens a table spread with food, that it may be an Eid for us, for the first of us and the last of us, and a sign from you. And provide for us, for you are the best of providers." Now, you could imagine this literally, a table of food floating down from the clouds. But prophetic logic and esoteric understanding tell us something far deeper is at play. Esoterically, the sky, the heaven, is a symbol of imamat. It represents the imam's rank. The imam is the spiritual sky, the source of continuous divine inspiration. So this prayer is not a prayer for physical food. It is a prayer for a spiritual and intellectual table to descend from the height of imamat, a Ma'idah laden with divine wisdom and esoteric knowledge. And the phrase, "for the first of us and the last of us," that is particularly significant. It tells us this table was never limited to the followers of Prophet Jesus alone. It was available before him. It remains available after him for all believers across all cycles of time, including today. This is the Ma'idah, the divine table, the universal table laid with the food of the Imam's esoteric miracles, and this table is spread eternally for believers. It is simply a matter of having the desire to access it and to eat from it. Now, one might ask, how does one access this divine table? The answer is through engagement, through constant remembrance of the beloved Imam, zikr, through Giria Ozari, crying in the love of the Imam, through performing good deeds, through pondering the Quran, Allah's creation, and one's own existence, the nature of the soul, the intellect, and the tools of their progression. This is the spiritual Ma'idah. It is about Tawil. It is about hikmat. It is the deeper knowledge the Imam provides to nourish the soul and intellect of the mu'min on his or her spiritual journey. So here we have it, from the Quran itself, a table, a ma'idah, laid by God for the first and the last, an Eid not of one day, but of all time, an Eid of knowledge and wisdom, flowing through the Asas, and in our present cycle through our present Imam, Maula Shah Rahim himself. And that image of the Imam as the spiritual sky and the divine table descending from the summit of Imamat, that is where I want to pause. Because some truths are too vast for one voice. What comes next in this journey is deeper still. It moves from the cosmic to the intimate, from the heavens all the way down into you, into the precise address where God himself has chosen to reside, your heart. I am passing this light now to someone who carries it just as carefully as I do. His name is Arif, and where I have brought you to the door, he will walk you through it. Arif, the table of knowledge and wisdom is laid, and the listeners are ready for you.
Dear brothers and sisters, Ya Ali Madad and Eid Mubarak. Thank you, Liana. The table of knowledge and wisdom is laid and our listeners are ready. Then let us not keep them waiting, because where Liana just left you, standing beneath that spiritual sky, looking up at a table full of divine wisdom descending towards you, that is exactly where this next part of the journey begins. Not up there, but in here. Let us go deeper. Pir Nasir Khusraw gives us another layer of beauty here. He says, the one who fasts is the one who maintains silence, and the one who breaks the fast is the one who finally speaks. Think about that. To fast spiritually is to be silent, holding the secrets of faith within, and breaking that fast means you have received enough wisdom that you are now able to speak it, share it, spread it. He also draws on the story of Bibi Maryam, the Virgin Mary. She kept the fast of silence. She maintained it to protect the spiritual birth of the Asas, the foundational Imam, within her own inner world, also called the personal world. The fast was her protection, her secret keeping of a divine secret. But now, in the time of Qiyamah, in this cycle of unveiling, knowledge is accessible, the silence is broken, the Tawili or esoteric knowledge is available. The silent fasters become speakers of wisdom. By absorbing the wisdom of the Asas, silent believers are liberated to become speakers of truth. You break your spiritual fast by learning a beautiful piece of inner truth and then sharing it with the world. Sound familiar? Isn't that exactly what this podcast is? We are spreading the Ismaili esoteric wisdom to you listeners. There is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that connects all of this beautifully. Indeed, among you there is the one who will fight for the sake of the Tawil of the Quran, as I did for the sake of its tanzil. The Prophet is speaking about two things. Tanzil, the revelation of the Quran itself. The Prophet fought to bring it to the world. Tawil, the inner, esoteric meaning of the Quran. Maula Ali, the Asas, would fight to convey this inner meaning. And Tawil is not something that ended in history. It continues, it is alive, and in the cycle of unveiling we live in today, it is more alive than ever. Imam Shah Karim himself affirmed this when he said, "Our tradition goes back centuries. It is an esoteric tradition. It is an intellectual tradition." This farman was made by Maula Shah Karim in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on October 6, 1988. Our tariqa has always been spiritually and intellectually driven, and it is precisely because of this rich intellectual tradition and because of the blessings of the cycle of unveiling that we are able, together, to explore the esoteric understanding of Eid al-Fitr in the way we are doing right now. This is the Ismaili intellectual tradition at work. From Maula Ali to the present day, we have been given the hidden meaning, the Tawili hikmat, the esoteric wisdom of what Eid truly means in our tariqa. This knowledge was always there. It was always ours. And today, in this time of unveiling, it is being shared. Now, I want to share something extraordinary with you. Words from Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah himself. Farman, given in Zanzibar, August 16, 1905. Imam said, quote, "There are 2 Eids during 12 months, and there comes an Eid all the times when I come. But when you will present me the jamaat Khana after its construction, which will be the Eid all the time during 12 months." End quote. Read those words again. The Imam says, when I come, there is Eid, and when you present me the jamaat Khana after its construction, there will be Eid all the time, every moment of the year. Now think carefully. Can the Imam physically be present in a jamaat Khana building all the time? No, of course not. And would the Imam treat his followers unequally, blessing only those who can afford to build a jamaat Khana? Never. So what is the Imam really saying? He is talking about a batini or esoteric jamaat Khana, an inner esoteric jamaat Khana, a sacred and sanctified space that cannot be found on any physical map. So where is this inner jamaat Khana located? Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah told us in a Farman from Gwadar, April 15, 1903, "A momin's heart is the house of Kudawan's Tala." The believer's heart, that is the house of the Lord. When the Imam says there will be Eid all the time, he is inviting every single one of us, equally and without exception, to build the esoteric jamaat Khana within our own hearts, through ibadat, worship, through girya ozari, crying in the love of the divine, through seeking hakiki knowledge, true esoteric knowledge. But the construction of this inner sanctuary does not end there. The performance of good deeds and the living of the ethics of faith play an essential role in the purification of the heart. Our beloved Imam Shah Rahim, in many of his recent Farmans, has frequently and beautifully emphasized the ethics of faith, because that ethical purification creates space, vast, sacred space within our esoteric heart, space to invite the Imam in, space to experience the everlasting Eid. And this is what moves us deeply. How beautifully our Imam integrates the festivity of Eid with his own presence within our hearts. It all points to the same truth, fulfilling the necessity of accessing Tawili knowledge from the Imam, liberating oneself from ignorance and the poverty of knowledge, restoring our ilmi strength, nurturing the soul and the intellect, purifying the heart until it becomes the Imam's permanent residence. We are truly grateful to our Imams for guiding us through every step of this spiritual journey. And when that inner sanctuary is built, when the Imam's spiritual presence resides within your heart, then every moment is Eid. Every single moment. So let's bring it all together. Pir Nasir Khusraw in the Wajh-i-Din instructs that on the day of Eid, believers should assemble, recognize one another, and rejoice, specifically by discussing and spreading the esoteric knowledge of Ismaili Tariqah, not just sending formal greetings, not just sharing memes, but actually sharing intellectual points of reflection, using the technology available to us to spread wisdom. This podcast is our attempts to do exactly that. The true Eid is not about the size of the feast on your table. It is about the richness of the knowledge on your inner spiritual table, the table of spiritual knowledge sent down from the summit of imamate. The true fast is not just abstaining from food, it is the hunger of the intellect. And the true Eid is the moment your intellect is finally fed by the Tawil of the living wisdom of the Imam Isaman. We are living in the Dar-e-Kashaf, the cycle of unveiling. This is a time of transformation where the spiritual table is fully laid and the inner jamaat Khana waits to be built in every believing heart. And there it is. Eid is not one day a year. Eid is every moment your intellect is fed, every moment your soul is nourished, every moment the Imam's light lives, breathing and alive inside the house he described, your own heart. You came into this episode knowing Eid as a celebration. You are leaving it knowing Eid as a state of being. That is not a small thing. That is a transformation. And transformations, once they happen, cannot be undone. So here is my challenge to you. Not a suggestion, a challenge. Don't just celebrate Eid, live it. This week, just this 1 week, seek one piece of Tawili wisdom and share it with someone. One conversation, one message, one moment of passing the light forward. Do your ibadat with the full awareness that your heart is not just a muscle, it is the house of God. Treat it that way, guard it that way, fill it that way. And let every day, not just today, not just this Eid, be your Eid. Now, here's your question to carry with you, not just today, but every day. If the Mormon's heart is truly the house of God, what are you doing in this very moment to make it worthy of the divine presence? Sit with that. Do not rush past it. Write it in your journal. Whisper it in your prayer. Let it find you again at night when everything is quiet and it is just you and your soul and the silence between them. And if this episode moved something real in you, do not let that movement die quietly. Drop your reflection in the comments below, because someone out there is reading those comments in the dark, looking for a single sentence that tells them they are not alone in their search. Your words could be that sentence. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the Ismaili Esoteric Study Circle if you have not already. Turn on that bell, because every episode we release is another table being laid, another dish of Tawili wisdom being served, and you do not want to arrive after the feast has begun. And then share this, not as a favor to us, but as an act of the very wisdom this episode just taught you. Pir Nasir Khusraw himself said, on Eid, believers should assemble, recognize one another, and rejoice by sharing the Tawil. That is exactly what a share button is. It is your digital Eid. You are not just a listener. You are a breaker of fasts, a speaker of wisdom, a keeper of the light that was entrusted to you the moment you chose to seek. That is our Eid. That is our celebration. Before we part, there is one more thing I want to leave with you. Throughout this episode, we touched on the Dar-e-Kashaf, that is, the cycle of unveiling, the 7 cycles related to 6 great prophets and the Lord of Resurrection, and the profound role of the Asas. These concepts did not appear from nowhere. They were laid out in depth in our previous episode on Laylat al-Qadr, that is, the Night of Power. And if this episode stirred something in you, that one will take it even deeper. We have placed the link to that episode in the description below. Consider it the companion to everything you heard today. The 2 episodes together form one complete picture. Do not just save it for later. Go there next. Thank you, truly, deeply, for spending this time with us today, for choosing to sit in this circle, for choosing depth over surface and meaning over routine. It means everything. Until we meet again in the next reflection, Ya Ali Madad and Eid Mubarak.